Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, check. Check 1, 2. There we go. All right, I was doing a little recording yesterday and had some other things on the inputs, and I forgot to reset them back for this recording. So check one. There we go. Okay, we got some voice on here. All right, let's do a quick assessment here. Get our daily bias going, which on first blush is clearly a downward trend, as you can see. We did manage to come up a little bit, and on the 1 hour, looks like we broke structure to the upside, continued up, but during the evening session, they didn't like the fact that it was heading up, and they dumped it hard, like hard. So we ended up breaking structure to the downside. We have a new low down here, new hourly low, which I'm going to mark out. So it looks like Asia and London session had some different opinions about what was going on with either current events or news or some other thing. Might have to do with the current state of affairs in the Middle East and the pretty much the takedown of Iran's hierarchy, more like a theocracy. A lot of mixed opinions about that, but we have a lot of ground to make up. Tough to say what's going to happen here. We are in a downward trend. My bias would probably be something along the lines of probably continuing the downward trend. However, we have such a large section of imbalance right here that at some point today, most of this is going to get retested. So we're either going to have, a sharp return bullish, or at least something that gets us back toward equilibrium here. So I'm expecting that in some of these, we've got a ton of fair value gaps on the 1 hour that we're going to be dealing with here. On the 4 hour, definitely still a downward trend, although we did have a break of structure here, making this an upward trend, but did not get to our next level and actually drop down lower. So again, all of this heavy dumping happened during Asia and London sessions. So if something crazy was happening overnight, that would have caused these markets to dump. But then again, that's Asia and Europe, and sometimes they have a different sentiment on what's going on with the markets than we Americans do. Again, I'm thinking this is probably, at the very least, we're going to be looking at trying to get back at least to equilibrium and then see if we jump from there. So, my bias coming out of the gates, at least in the morning hours and through the New York session, is going to be mostly bullish. I think maybe there'll be a little bit of market manipulation down around these lows, right in through here. Probably going to be sweeping some liquidity along those lines. In the 4 hour, I'm going to go back to the 1 hour real quick. Yeah, we got a little bit more down here as well. I don't know that we're going to be targeting those lows necessarily, but definitely stuff down in this region below these lows. We have, we did sweep those lows from back here on early February. We did take those lows So this could very well be the reversal. This could very well be the reversal. I'm thinking bullish. I'm thinking at least until we get to this midway point in here, at least until we get to, you know, probably somewhere in the 68.30s, or somewhere in the 24.8 ish, 24.7. Anyway, we got 2 minutes till, so I'm gonna go back and mark out some stuff here as the session gets ready to open, and then we're going to start targeting some price action. Okay, took out those lows. Less than a minute to market open. Okay, market's open. Okay, just got some slow motion here, testing out. Might do a sweep here, jump down, take out these lows right here. So, excuse me. This would be a great place for a reversal, but we're going to need a manipulation to do it. I'm going to throw the 15-minute in there just to get an idea if we have. Okay, we got a little bit of a market manipulation there. I still think, now we hit these lows on the pre-market, so maybe this is the turn and the going up. This could be, but there's still going to be a little bit of a market manipulation here. So see, it wants to head up, but it's struggling, so it's probably going to take another quick dip. Maybe try to get a manipulation down under these lows. Yeah, we're going to continue to wait. It's not really giving us any idea of what's going to happen just yet. Taking our time here. There's nothing to rush about. Not right yet. We have a little bit of a manipulation above these highs, which is good. I think we're going to maybe sink below these. We might try to take out these London lows as well, and then make a push. We have not, so technically we're not in an uptrend just yet. We have not, well, here we have closed out, no, barely above those highs. And here, so what we've got is high and a low. We've got an SMT divergence, a bearish SMT divergence starting, but we're in a downish trend anyway, so we're not really looking at those. We're still in a downtrend. There we go. Got NASDAQ trying to break above that area of liquidity, create some new highs. S&P doesn't seem to be wanting to follow suit. But we're waiting this out. We just do not have enough to go on just yet. I mean, right now, equilibrium on the 1 hour is quite a ways away. It's above those London highs, so we'd still have to be careful there. Yeah, and here on S&P, so Might be making a new high on the 5 minute. Okay, still aren't closing above. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of liquidity and sweep in there, a little bit of manipulation. I still think we still need to get to some of those lows before we do anything, unless this is going to go lower. But there's really no real manipulation going on S&P right now. It's just going sideways and chopping. Nasdaq is teasing a little bit with going higher, but still nothing happening of any significance just yet. Ah, damn it. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know why I freaking did that. All right. I pressed the wrong thing for indicator here. Let's do this again. There we go. Okay, so we're going to turn these labels off. And then this one we're going to turn on. And we're going to change that color to that and that. There. All right, now we're starting to get the movement I was thinking we were getting. Whoops, here we go. There we go. Definitely have an SMT forming here, but because we're still in a downtrend, we should actually be looking for something underneath to give us an indication on what's going to happen. Right now we've got price action moving pretty slowly. Oh, we do have a bullish SMT starting to form now right in here. Just a small one. But we've got no gaps. Okay, looks like S&P is taking the lead on sweeping some of these lows here. Let's see if it's going to do it. I'm going to take a quick short. Should have taken it a little higher because I think we barely touched those. I don't know if we're going to actually dip below or if we're going to head up. So it's not looking good at the moment, but I'm really thinking that's where it's going. So maybe hang on to it for just a few minutes. I'm going to get out quick if it does break below. There we go. All right. I got out quick on that. I know it was headed lower, but I'm not, again, I'm not into playing a whole lot. This is more about just taking advantage of a quick little scalp that I thought it was going to manipulate to, but you just don't know how far it's going to go. I'm thinking London session lows, but to tell you the truth, the way that NASDAQ is looking at pulling it back up, but we're definitely forming a bullish SMT here. There's just not a lot happening yet. It's a lot of sideways. Oh, those puppies. Dogs being dogs. I don't know if you can hear them on my thing or not, but. Okay. As I expected, they took some liquidity here, but we still don't have a break of structure. We're just confirming our downtrend still. We don't have a break of structure here, not of anything significant yet. Let me jump to the 1 minute and see if that's looking any different on stuff. I don't think it is. Just yeah, it just looks like a lot of sideways chop. Got a small fair value gap here, small one here. I mean, until we fully break structure to the upside, I just don't see anything happening yet. Let's see what the 15-minute looks like. We do have a higher high technically right here. On the 15-minute, but we do not have it here. So we clearly have things going in different directions. I mean, it's still showing a bullish SMT, but they're fighting it out. And until I have a confirmation that that's going to happen and then a continuation, there's just not a lot that's worthwhile going after at the moment. See, we're still in the 15-minute, we're still looking at dumping a little. So this is still showing a downward trend right now. There's probably not going to be a whole lot going on today that I'm going to be able to take advantage of, at least not right in the early minutes. We have S&P and NASDAQ showing different methods, different ways of price action. I mean, right now it's dumping even below here, so I don't know what else we have that's down that far. We really don't. It's kind of open space, so. If this candle closes out without getting below those lows, I mean, it looks like it probably will. It's wanting to. Oh. Man, people getting into it right now, just gonna get chopped up like a wood chipper. So I'm seeing the low end manipulation, the low time, the low, the market liquidity on the downside being taken care of on the S&P, but they just have not decided to do it on the Nasdaq as far as the manipulation is concerned. London session came down and took out the lows from a few days ago, and then it began an upward trend, and now we're seeing it coming down from here. Looks like it's hitting what would be on the 15-minute equilibrium here, and then wanting to make its way back up. Whereas S&P is flirting with taking out more of London lows. It did drop past S&P or past equilibrium, which would be, I don't know, about here, and is starting to make its way back up. But yeah, there's nothing there yet. I'm going to stay on the 15-minute and just there's a whole lot of nothing yet. Might not have a trade yet. This is one of those sit, observe, and be patient. Be very, very patient. we pretty much have S&P and NASDAQ showing us two different things. So I'm still thinking we're going to get bullish at some point. I just don't have a confirmation on that yet or a continuation confluence. Right now, the only thing that's giving me any kind of warm and fuzzy about a bullish bias is that we are looking at what amounts to a bullish SMT kind of thing. But again, bullish SMT isn't even confirmed yet. It just looks like it's forming. But nothing's confirmed yet until it actually shows that it's going to actually make the move up. And so, although I think it's going to do that, I don't have a confirmation yet, either with a break of structure or an inverse value gap, which, I mean, there is none right now. There's no value gap to look at. Let me see if the 5-minute even has anything. Yeah, there's no value gaps on the 5-minute to look at on the S&P. And yeah, NASDAQ is just a mess. Just a big sideways looking ball of mash. So, although S&P has something that looks more like price action you can monitor, price action on NASDAQ, especially on the 5-minute, gives us a whole lot of nothing. So right now there's nothing to look at. We could very well still be looking at bearish. I mean, we're still in bearish market action. For sure. We have not shown anything bullish. So, hey, for all I know, my bias could be complete crap. But the way that the price action is moving so slowly is an indication that the market is probably trying to fight it out itself right now. So we're going to sit on the sidelines and watch. I think the bulls definitely want to recover and prove that Asia and London don't run this market. But then I think market structure is market structure, and right now we're in a bearish structure. So you've got those two forces battling it out right now. There we go. I think S&P is now okay. So S&P now touched on London lows. There's a good chance that that's going to pull NASDAQ. Puppy's getting all excited. Wow. Yeah, it's just not doing a whole lot of anything right now. Oh. We could close out this 15-minute candle and yeah, there we go. All right, so now we want to start looking at a bullish market structure because I think it's tired now. So I'm going to move to the 5-minute here and see if we get a break of structure. Let me see what the 1-minute looks like. Okay, it looks like we're about to get a break of structure on the 1-minute. Nope, haven't gotten it yet. I'm not touching anything just yet. I'm going to go back to 15-minute and just sit tight. Just something has me a little spooked about the way price action is. I'm not gonna touch it just yet. I still think the play at some point is going to be bullish and we're going to test equilibrium on the 1 hour. Whether we push through that and make new highs will be tough to say, but there's just nothing's giving me the warm and fuzzies just yet. We could still break into lows. We do have some targets down here. You know, we got some Asia lows. We got some other hourly and 4-hour lows. We got an hourly low down here. So I mean, we've got a bullish SMT forming, which is like blatantly obvious, but what we don't have is we do not have any confluence that's going to confirm that we're going to move into bullish structure. Not just yet, anyway. I think we're still going to be testing some of these London session lows. NASDAQ just refuses to work with that liquidity. Refuses to do it. Almost like it's already been done and it's tired. Oh, that's a pretty dramatic spike or drop. Yeah, it's really slow price action today. We're 40 minutes into our trading day and we're not really seeing anything come about. I mean, we've got a little bit of fair value gaps up through here. There's actually these, well, that one got taken out, but we have a little one here. So, I mean, we've got some areas here that things are happening. All right, so right now it looks like we're starting to dump. It looks like the bears are winning. But all this is really doing is just forming a much stronger SMT. You can see here from this point to here, and then from this point to here. Because right now we're still in bearish market structure, so even the 5 minutes just larping around, it's just we're starting to get to where we'll get some liquidity take here, but nothing major. And this thing is just flirting below London lows. Maybe some more market liquidity there. But if this was a really, really hard downtrend, or it was a continuation on the downtrend, then there would be a lot more indicating that that's what it's doing. And right now it's just moving slow, so all right, maybe we get some price action now. A little more volatility. I think if we get a break of structure up here, that would be a good indication that we are likely to head more north. If we get a break of structure on the 5 minute, I might move down to the 1 minute and see if there's something we can do. Going from there, maybe some equilibrium. S&P just keeps wanting to dip, and NASDAQ is just holding on to that rope, man, just not letting it drop. There's just a whole lot of nothing right there. Consider myself lucky that I even got what scalp I did. Let me keep this a little closer here. I'm going to put the headset on and see if I can actually hear myself. There we go. All right, I think we're better there. Check one. I'm only hearing myself on the left. Why is that? Is this thing only working in the left? Check one. Check. Okay, we'll leave it about there. That's about as high as we want that to go. Okay. Starting to see a slight curl, but again, just testing on this lower, on these lows right here. And NASDAQ just refuses to go. Still showing a pretty serious SMT, but without it making a move to confirm, it's going to be real difficult to find an entry point. I mean, really, we're looking at, a solid break of structure, which is probably going to be somewhere up here, up above this high and up above this high, and we just aren't seeing it yet. Once that breaks, then we can look into a lower time frame and see if we can catch something maybe by the time it hits equilibrium to turn down and then pop back up again and start approaching these highs. But right now we just have a lot of slow sideways market structure. So what I need to figure out is why in the world I'm only coming through the left speaker here. Why am I doing that? Left speaker only. Oh, there we go. Okay. Audio. I'm not seeing. How is this doing the hello, 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 hello? Feels like it's only in the left ear. Check one. Check one. Oh. Yeah, see, it's only getting louder in the left when I turn it up. Huh. Okay. Well, it's getting to be 10:15. We got 1 minute left on this candle. Looks like it might be a bullish candle, so we could start seeing the confirmation of that SMT in a bullish move. Got about 30 seconds plus left on this candle, on this 15-minute candle. Let's move down to the 5-minute real quick and see what that looks like. Yeah, boring. Okay, so nothing there either. Whole lot of slow sideways chop. What it looks like is a slow curl, is what it looks like. So we just need to have something that's going to break. Something that's going to break above here. Close with a new high. Even then, this price action is so slow that even getting an entry, you're going to be waiting on it for a while if this price action doesn't keep doesn't move or create some volatility here. It's just a really, really slow one today. I mean, I might just call it at some point here and just not take a trade at all. This is just, we're not seeing any movement, and I'll keep watching it. Not for too much longer though. We're already getting close to an hour. Um, you know, maybe to 10:30. See what happens there. And if we don't get any movement by 10:30, I think I got to find other things to do with my day and just call it what it is. Just a neutral day that we're just not seeing any real price action. There's just not a lot in terms of volatility. I checked the news, and on today, we've got some. Now we got one of the Fed members speaking. I mean, these are not major deals right here. These aren't major news impact things per se. So right now we just keep flirting with the lows. NASDAQ just refuses, still playing anchor, or I should say rope, holding it, keeping it from hanging itself, from just tanking out. Oh, we might have some movement now though. Let's see. S&P is showing relatively normal price action and market structure by just following its normal trend of a bearish trend. NASDAQ is just not wanting to do it. I think the bulls are starting to get tired and the bears are winning. I'll bet this looks terrible on the 5-minute. Yeah, it sure does. Okay, now we're starting to get some price action that looks like it's moving. Or not. This could just be the liquidity sweep that I've been talking about for the last 45 minutes or so. I mean, we do have targets down here, and we do have targets here. Of course, there's still the London sweep. All right, even if we do get a move down toward London lows on NASDAQ and just whatever this move is on S&P now, I'll still have to wait for some other version of a confirmation before we can do anything. Yeah, because this is on the 5-minute and it is slow, slow, slow. Well, similar looking market structure, but in different spots on the charts. So good morning, Cody Parr.
Good morning. How are you?
Splendid, thank you.
Awesome, awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we definitely got some bearish structure here. Let's see what this is looking like on the 15-minute. Okay, now it's acting like normal bearish structure. But I'm still not feeling a confident entry anywhere. No, looks like S&P is acting like a boat anchor and just convincing NASDAQ. I think NASDAQ is getting tired now and just giving up. I mean, we're still showing a really strong bullish SMT here, like really strong now. You got about a minute left on the 5-minute stuff, so let's move to 5-minute real quick and just see what this looks like. Okay, nothing to act on the 5-minute until we get a break of structure above here. We would need a break of structure above these highs right here, a candle that closes above this high, and a candle that closes above this high. If we do, then that would actually be a good spot to look at an entry. Because from there, we can be targeting these London highs. There's equilibrium where we'll get a little bit of resistance. But if we get the entry somewhere in here, then we have a really good chance at being able to get some movement. And this could be on either of the indices. Also, too, is we're forming fair value gap here on both of these as well. So we might be able to look at inversing this fair value gap to get a better entry. We'll see. It could be this is just going to continue as bearish structure. Make our SMT, completely invalid. Well, for what it's worth, NASDAQ did touch down on these, create some liquidity sweep in there. That could be our manipulation before heading back up. Okay, so I'm gonna say that this is our manipulation right here, since it was such slow movement trying to figure out what was going on. I don't know, maybe, there's some targets on these lows, depending on where this candle finishes. But now we're generating fair value gap here and a fair value gap here. And so in my mind, I'm going to keep an eye on this top end of the fair value gap, the second one, not the first one, but the second one. And if we inverse that gap, then we're very, very much looking at actually making the reversal, because then we could also get some confirmation right here with getting a break of structure. But for right now, they're testing the waters there. I'm just going to sit tight. There's nothing telling me that we're in a place to make a trade. Hmm. Check. Hmm. That's interesting. Hmm. Just checking out my audio, guys. Just seems like everything's coming through the left side only. So I apologize if this thing is not in a proper stereo set. All right, so it looks like we're gonna get close to closing out below these London lows on the NASDAQ. S&P is clearly dumped on those already and is just continuing downward. So I'm thinking now we're probably more in a bearish, well, we were in a bearish trend anyway. So, I mean, just the obvious consensus would be that, we're going to continue the trend. I was thinking a little more contrarian, saying that there was going to be some market manipulation and then some move upward, which there still could be. I mean, we got 15 seconds left on this 5-minute candle, and we could be just testing the waters and moving here. But even if I wanted to take a short and target these down here, I would at this point still need to see something that comes up into this fair value gap, respects it, and then continues downward. So now that we're forming a new candle, we're hanging out here below these lows. This could just be our liquidity sweep, and now we're going to start moving back up. Like I said, for a bullish bias, I'm going to want to see this inverse fair value gap right up here and this one right here taken out, pretty much inversed. And at the time that happens, we should very much be looking at a full break of structure as well for a bullish move up to our London highs. If that doesn't happen, and right now we're just looking at a retrace, then what we'll be looking at is something to respect this fair value gap or this fair value gap and then curl and continue back down. So those are the two options right now that we're going to be looking at, seeing what happens with price. Because right now there's just not enough to go on that gives me any warm and fuzzies just yet. So we are starting to see a bit of a push now up into this imbalance, area of imbalance. Those things usually do like to balance themselves out. This might be a good place to take a long, but you know, it's a bit risky right at the moment. Let me see if anything on the 1 minute makes me feel that we have what we want here. We could get a break of structure, and if we do, you know, maybe take a look at something in there. I'm going to take a quick long for a scalp. No, this wasn't a good idea. This was not a good idea. I'm going to get out. Maybe wait this out. I don't know. Wow. Yeah, it's a pretty tough fight right there. That tells me that we're not looking good. I might end up taking a loss on this. All right, I'm getting out. That was a tough one. I think I'm down 500 or so. Yeah. It's bouncing around, but the price action was so slow. I think I just got, yeah, I'm down 600 on that. That's so not where I wanted to be. I think that's going to be it for me. Um, I told myself if I took a loss bigger than 500 that I'm going to be out for the day. Um, yeah, and I think this is proving that we're still in down market structure. So looks like it's respecting the fair value gaps. So this very well could be continuing downward. Yeah. We're starting to get a little more activity now. Now we're getting our upward trend. I should stay out of this. It's not moving quick enough to make a difference. All right, this is the time where I need to suck it up and just take my loss for today. Live to trade another day. Okay, I'm not going to take a chance on this. We're already an hour and 13 minutes into our day here, and with this market structure, there just hasn't been enough to go with. So um, I'm just going to leave it. I don't see that we have anything that's moving confidently or quickly enough that I'll be able to sustain any kind of price action that we have here. Yeah, you can see this already beginning to move again. It's respecting the fair value gap. It's respecting this gap right here on the S&P. This one isn't even getting past the first gap, let alone the second gap. So although I think we're going to end up working past it. All right, so we're working past the first value gap. There we go. We worked past the first value gap and the second value gap on the S&P. If this closes out, then that would be a good buy indication. We still don't have a full break of structure. Yeah, that second value gap is being respected right now. Definitely on the NASDAQ. S&P is flirting. Okay, looks like we're getting better on that fair value gap. God, the price action is just so choppy. We even have a fair value gap here that we haven't broken yet. Barely. Barely, barely. Okay, I'm going long on S&P. It's some slow price action. Hmm. Right now my target is just above these highs for break of structure. We're respecting, we've inversed the fair value gap, or at least we're looking to. We have this fair value gap over here that it's still being respected, but I see S&P being the more aggressive indice. So come on. This isn't good. That fair value gap is being respected. This could be a bad move. Damn. I know this is going up. How much can I take? Hmm. No, this doesn't look like it's going to do what I want it to do. That sucks. I don't know if I got in or made the good move or not. It's this price action. I probably just shouldn't have gotten in altogether. It is respecting that fair value gap on NASDAQ. We're pushing past on S&P. Wow. Yeah, this is just terrible sideways. I got to get back. Well, I don't got to get back to break even, but if I did, this would be a good way to get out. And I might be just taking a big loss today. Those fair value gaps are really, that's what's killing me. I think I got in too soon without really confirming that the fair value gaps were fully inversed. Because right now we're just playing around and, you know, things could just be dropping out bad. I still feel like we can make a move up, especially because NASDAQ, all it did was a liquidity sweep and a move up. S&P hanging out in the liquidity area, but it's just how long can I hold out for? Can I sustain whatever the market moves are going to be, even if it means that I'm hanging out in a red position for a while, which I currently am. I usually like to trade a little more quickly than this with a little more certainty. But right now we got a dogfight with the bulls and the bears, and I'm sitting on the bad end of it right now. So this could end very badly for me. Yeah, I'm not liking the way this price action's looking. No, not liking this at all. I could be down quite a bit here. That fair value gap is being respected. Maybe I should have waited for it to be fully inversed. I don't know. Yeah, this is looking bad. Okay. I'm gonna have to get out of this. Huh. When you just get the feeling that it's gonna move your way. No, that's a doji. It's dumping. I'm out. All right. Yeah, down 1,200 on the day, but I'm still around. All right, live to trade another day. All right, I'm done for the day, folks. This has just been a tough one, and we're an hour and a half in. Price action's just been terrible, and it's respecting this fair value gap on both of these, so chances are we're targeting these lows, but the price action's moving so slowly that I just don't have the capital to wait this out and to see what's going to happen and to handle the shifts. Already taken a couple of hits today. So I'm going to call it at that. Live to trade another day. We're just going to have to do this again tomorrow. So, all right, boys and girls. Let's see. Down today. Today was a tough one. Down 1280, but I am still, account is still alive. So we've still got some leeway to work with. All right, let's work on a new one tomorrow, and we will chat again then. All right, thanks for hanging out, y'all, and we will see you all tomorrow.